So you're currently in the military and you're debating on whether you're going to get out or you're close to getting out and your EAS is right around the corner. Now, if you fall into any of these two categories, you've come to the right place. Hey guys, my name is Adrian and this is the Leader's Circle. If you're here for the first time, my channel is all about growth. I talk about the military, I talk about life outside the military and how you can set yourself up for success, as well as investing into stocks and cryptocurrencies. So if that sounds interesting to you, please do me a favor, hit that big red button and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about the military and how you can prepare yourself for a smooth transition back to the civilian world. Now, if you find any value out of this video, please drop a like as it will help push this video out to more people. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell as well so that way you guys are not missing out on any future content. So on average, most of us won't know what to do until we're about halfway through our service contracts. Some of us are locked in for 4-year contracts and some of us are locked in for 5-year contracts. It just really depends on what MOS you have. But in this circumstance, I'm going to assume that you're already halfway through your contract and it's probably already crossed your mind. Do I want to stay in? Do I want to get out? Now, if you're dead set on wanting to get out, the information I'm going to provide you will be extremely useful. Now, if you're still unsure, you can still apply the same principles just in case you make a last minute decision. Now, some people can be quite the opposite. Some people are dead set on getting out and then very last minute they decide they want to stay in. However, I do not want you to be in a position where you're about to get out, but you decide you need to stay in only because you were not prepared enough to, and you've become 100% reliant and dependent on the military. So here are 5 tips that you absolutely need to know to prepare yourself for this dog-eat-dog world outside of the military. So the first thing is your transition seminar or program. Every branch in the United States military has some type of transition readiness course. Now, me coming from the Marine Corps has a program called a transition readiness seminar. Now, as far as the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force goes, they have what they call TAP, which stands for Transition Assistance Program. The Space Force, they just have some program that allows you to transition back down to Earth. So once you decide that you want to get out, you need to get with your career planner so that way you guys can schedule a time that you can attend this course. You should be able to go to the course about 1 year out from your EAS, but it's been quite a while now, so I don't know if things have changed. If you have any questions, obviously talk to your career planner. This course allows you to sit in a class type setting in front of a licensed instructor, which, guys, the licensed instructor is not going to be in the military. He might be former military, but he's 9 times out of 10 is going to be a civilian. So this is a complete non-biased instructing setting, and they're going to go over the entire curriculum. They will fill you in with resources, links that you might need. They also teach you how to prep your resume as well as help you apply to school if you decide to go in that direction. Now, from my personal experience, I actually did the transition readiness seminar twice, and the only reason why I did it twice was because the very first time that I did it, I put in my re-enlistment package in, but it took forever to come back, so I just took the course just in case. The reason why I'm even making this a tip is because I've seen so many Marines try to do this course last minute. And even though it's mandatory and your leaders should be enforcing it, they don't. So obviously, if they don't hold you accountable, you're probably not going to hold yourself accountable. So get on the course as early as you can, and I promise you it will be one of the most meaningful courses throughout your entire career. Number 2, document all your medical conditions. This is also a topic that's going to be covered in your transition program. The reason why I find this so important is that you are given the ability to claim any type of injury or any type of medical condition that may have occurred throughout your service, from as little as that ankle sprain that occurred during a hike, or even as severe as an injury that happened in theater. You can claim just about anything. This is something that I saw Marines not take advantage of, or they just didn't care. In the VA, it's there for a reason. They may not be the best, but guys, they're trying. But when you neglect to claim a possible or potential disability that may have occurred throughout your military service, you are literally leaving money on the table, and I cannot stress that enough. Many people are too scared to tell you this, or they're just simply not educated enough. You want to start filing your disability at least 90 days out from your EAS, and this will allow your disability process to be processed in a timely manner. I highly recommend this to everybody to do it as soon as possible. Now, if you miss the boat to do it while you're in the service, don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out. You still have a second chance to do it while you're out. Just find the nearest VA center and talk to a VA representative, and they'll be able to walk you through all the steps. You can also do it through your e-benefits page, and if you attend the transition readiness course, they'll go over that with you as well. You'll need to provide all your medical documentation so that way the examiner or the VA itself can determine whether it was a service-connected disability. And once you've submitted your claim, it could take about 6 months up to a year, and sometimes even longer for your claim to get approved. But during this time, you are probably going to be obligated to attend exams. So I'm sure that at this point in time in your life, you probably have a job. So you want to make sure that you're working these exam schedules and appointments around your current life situation, because if you miss the opportunity to attend any of these appointments, you're just setting yourself back in the disability process. Tip number 4, never stop applying for jobs. Now, depending on whether you want to go straight into the workforce or you're deciding to go to school, the same principle can be applied to both routes. But because most folks are seeking employment once they get out, we're just going to talk about jobs. Never settle on one job application. And the reason why I say this is you do not want to put all your eggs into one basket. Keep applying, because if you never receive an offer and you never accept an offer, you don't have a job yet. And I'm going to tell you guys this from my personal experience. All right, I made a mistake. I had a job that I applied to with a certain company that I believe still to this day that everything went perfectly. The interview process was perfect, and mind you that it was a 4-step interview process. I literally worked from level 1 all the way to the final boss, and I thought everything went perfectly and everything just felt right. Like, there were no indications that led me to believe that I was not going to get this job. Like, even the final boss, the last guy that interviewed me, told me that I am the perfect fit for this job. So obviously that narrative stuck, and I got cocky. And then of course, weeks later, I get an email and it's the big denied. They basically said that they found a different candidate that was a perfect fit for the job, and they decided to go with that candidate instead. But previous to that news, I literally stopped applying for jobs. I was so dead set on this job that I was like, that's it. This is my end all be all, and this is where I'm going after I get out. That was my mistake. My anxiety started to flare. Terrible things were starting to go through my head, and I was just like all this pressure was just building up. My palms are getting sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. You guys don't know where that line's from, then we can't be friends. But basically, I freaked out and I started applying for every single job that I could find, even if it didn't fall under the category that I wanted to pursue. And I didn't land a job until after I was already out of the Marine Corps, about a month out. Luckily for me, I was on terminal leave, which leads me to my next tip. Tip number 5, save enough leave. So if you don't know what terminal leave is the leave that you save up throughout the duration of your career, leading until the end of your career, so it can act as a get out of jail free card or get out of jail early card. For example, if you save up 30 days of leave, you can use those 30 days of leave to get out 30 days earlier than your EAS. And while you're on terminal leave, you're still getting paid your remaining paychecks. And this is absolutely helpful because it takes so much pressure off of you, so that way you're able to focus on continuing to apply for jobs as well as attending interviews. Or if you just so happen to plan perfectly and you landed a job right as you got out, you can be collecting a paycheck from that new job as well as still collecting a paycheck from the Marine Corps. So that kind of gives you the ability to save up some money in the short term. And here's my last and final tip, the tip of the spear. Save at least 6 months of living expenses. Now, depending on where you decide you want to live, this could change. So take that into account when you're deciding where you want to relocate to. Some folks don't go back home. They end up finding another place or another state to live in. And that's fine and all, but ensure that it's going to be able to meet your means. Like, saving 6 months of living expenses is probably not going to work if you decide you want to live in an expensive city like San Francisco. Personally, I recommend about 8 months of living expenses up to a year of living expenses. But for this circumstance and this situation, we're gonna say 6 months is doable. You wanna be able to have these funds set off to the side just in case it's taking longer for you to find employment. Because I want you guys to understand that things can happen. There are a lot of things that may happen that are completely out of your control. So the best way to prepare yourself for those unforeseen circumstances is by just preparing for the worst. You can't always expect things to work the way you want it. And if you do, you are gonna be in for a rude awakening. And I don't say this to scare you, but honestly, you should be scared. The military spent the last several years holding your hand and preparing you to be the best warfighter possible. But if you're in the Air Force, different preparation. Guys, you guys know I'm kidding, right? You know I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. I love all you guys. It don't matter what branch you're from. I love all you guys. It's all love. But the problem with the military and being accustomed to that military lifestyle is that they don't allow you to stand and fall on your own. The civilian world is quite different. No one cares if you succeed. No one cares if you fail. No one cares if you've served. And as sad as it sounds, it is absolutely true. Just because you served in the military does not mean an employer is automatically going to hand you a job. And that's just the reality that we live in. And I want you to understand that. It's up to you to ensure that you're prepared for the worst circumstances. Only then will you have a smooth transition. Good luck, everyone. I hope you found this video valuable, and if you did, go ahead and drop a like. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know by dropping a comment in the comment section below. Other than that, thanks for watching. Stay frosty. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.